Hi guys, I'm Shmee, hello and welcome back to the channel where today is something I have been intrigued by to discover the new Mercedes-AMG C63 S E-Performance, the full 680 horsepower hybrid latest generation C63. Now we saw the wraps come off only a couple of weeks ago, but today we are here with this test car, this prototype at Immendingen, the home of the Daimler Test Centre, to learn all about it from a technical point of view. I'm going to be hopping on board in the passenger seat to go for a ride to discover this in detail. For the new car, we have this hybrid setup, the 2-litre turbo 4-cylinder engine, the electric side of things with the motor and the battery as well, the 4MATIC Plus system, but it's longer than the standard car, it's wider than the standard car. There are so many technical upgrades and improvements, and we're going to be jumping on board to go and find out all about it. Things like the race start, a mountain pass type road, the handling circuit, maybe a little bit of sideways, to find out what this is like and what these changes do to the immensely popular C63 model range. So let's find out all about this today, the new C63 S E-Performance. We have, of course, seen the full car. You can tell what we're going in. The longer, wider, more aggressive C63, the AMG grille, all of the details about this car. But it's a test car because, of course, they are undergoing the final stages to get everything ready for the new C63 to go into production. And the crazy thing with this is for the C63 S E-Performance, the top spec model, it's gone up from the previous generation's 510 horsepower at the flagship end to 680. And that's where we've got so much to learn about this, other than the visual side with the wing, the quad exhaust tailpipes down there as well, the wider arches up towards the front. It's the technical side that we're going to be focusing on today to understand this elongated wheelbase and everything that's happening underneath the skin, as well as going through the different driving modes to understand and learn how all of these work. So I'm going to be hopping on board with René Zepek, team lead of the vehicle dynamics behind the new C63 S E-Performance, to find out all about this. So let's get ready, jump in and go see what it's like. All right, here we are. How are you doing?
Yeah, fine. I'm fine. And you?
Very good. Very excited. Obviously, we've seen this car, but now it's time to experience this car.
Exactly.
Although you've probably had quite a bit of experience, lots of testing.
I had a lot of experience with that car, for sure, yeah. I did. So then, you're ready?
I am indeed. How are we beginning? What are we doing?
We are starting up the new C63 S E-Performance now.
With silence.
Welcome.
Basically silence. No V8 there.
No.
It's a little bit different because it starts by default in the electric mode.
Comfort mode, yes. We are starting default in comfort. But I switched to the electric mode because I want to take you with me to a journey of our new world, right?
So, we get started in electric. 13 kilometers of electric range. This is where we have, I want to say, 150 kilowatts?
Exactly, yes. Coming from the electric motor in the rear, right?
So right now, it's primarily delivering that power to the back.
Yeah, but we are able to shift to the all-wheel drive mode.
Yeah, so if it slips or anything, the electric can go everywhere.
Yeah.
Okay. There's a lot to kind of learn about this, because obviously, if you think of a C63 of previous generations, you think of a big V8 engine, all the power to the back, smoky burnouts, pretty simple system.
Yeah.
This is a complete game change, leap ahead of technology.
Exactly. And this is where AMG now is in. So we are in a complete transformation right now. So the system can't get any more complex than having a hybrid.
Yeah. So you're managing both internal combustion engine and also an electric motor system. And especially when you have the 4MATIC Plus system, you have the whole
rear axle steering, we have an electronic differential in the rear. So we are now going to be disturbed again.
Bitte Abblendlicht einschalten.
Basically, welcome to the private roads of the test track facility.
Exactly, and she was telling us to just switch on our lights, right?
Yeah.
That we will be seen on track.
Got to do what you got to do. So we're going to go through a few different driving environments, I understand.
Exactly, yeah. We are now going in the full electric mode. And the story is like, yeah, starting at home, right? And leaving home in a full quiet mode. And this is an absolutely new experience in a C63. We had to focus that thing in the development, how to isolate the road as much as possible, so in an acoustic way, by not losing any of our body or chassis control, right?
I think that's one of the hardest things, because as soon as you take away the background noise of an engine, your mind and attention is suddenly so focused on wind noise, on rolling road noise, on all of the other sounds that are around you.
We had to focus on so many other things right now to just be able to get that comfortable ride, but also feeling or getting the feeling of a C63.
And when you're driving like this is where you have a series of different recuperation modes.
Yeah, exactly. We will go through them as soon as we are on our first test module.
Okay, perfect.
And I will show you what kind of regenerating braking mode, regen braking modes we are able to offer our customers.
And then obviously we have to try engine on, some exciting driving, get a mix of everything.
Exactly. So welcome to the mountain road then. We are now going up the hill in a full electric mode.
I think one of the things I'm interested here in is when we've done a few kilometers of driving in electric, watching how it does with recharging, getting that power back into the battery with the different driving modes and where we're going.
So this is the 150 kilowatts pushing you up the hill.
So the interesting thing with that is that you don't feel that's lacking for everyday driving. That's enough power for everyday driving.
Absolutely. We are now going down the hill and we are able to switch through our 3 regen braking modes. We are now in mode 1, which feels like just having the clutch pedal pushed in a manual gearbox car. We are then able to switch to mode 2. You can see that also here in your instrument cluster. As soon as I lift up the acceleration pedal, you feel like being braked a bit.
Yeah, a little bit closer to the one pedal, but not quite all the way.
Exactly. And then we have the third mode, and as you mentioned already, this is the one pedal drive mode in the car, and this is really breaking you down and regenerating energy as much as possible.
Okay.
To now give you the range of characters we are able to now give or hand over to you, I will switch to the Sport Plus or Race mode.
My first time hearing that engine. It's funny because it's a fairly familiar sound from other, obviously, AMG models, but a little bit different. It's a little bit different.
So we're not going too fast right now, just to give you the impression of what the car's able to feel now like. So in that corner, please take care about the traction of the car. And that was the full 680 horsepower just pulling you out of the corner.
Yeah.
With not any single wheel slip.
Yeah, the impressive thing is obviously early grip, straight on the power, the delivery of the torque with the electric motor, all cleverly working in sync with one another.
Exactly, and we are in ESP off mode. Now if you have an eye on the regen braking.
Oh, really charging, 75, 80 kilowatts. I'm really impressed by when you go through some of these tighter corners, how flat it is.
Yeah.
I mean, the damping system is obviously heavily reworked and newly introduced for this car, but that comes from other learnings across the AMG range.
Exactly. So we learned that we had some focus in the development on how to gain traction by adding wheel controls with some cool damper systems. And this is what we firstly put into the AMG Black Series, and the system behind it, or the technology behind it, is quite familiar from motorsports. And it's all about your wheel control, or the way you are able to keep your wheel to the ground. And this is also good to find a compromise between comfort and traction.
Here we are then, handling circuit.
Here we are, handling circuit. If you like to, we can do a race start first.
Oh, definitely. I'd love to experience what this is capable of off the line, because, you know, top trumps and acceleration figures matter. Officially 0 to 100 is 3.4 seconds.
Exactly.
But if my experience is anything to go by, I wouldn't be surprised if it's a little bit faster. No comment.
we will give you the chance to do that on your own on the real press event later on.
Sie fahren zu langsam.
We're going too slow for the racetrack, but that's okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And now there's a second warning.
Halteverbot.
Okay, we are not able to stop here, she's telling
Okay.
us. Okay.
But we're good.
So then,
Impressive.
that's massive, right?
That's very impressive.
That's really cool, and it's really fast. And even if I've done, I think, 100 race starts right now, it's always pushing me as hell.
That's a sensation that's normally associated with full accelerations in an electric car. That feeling of eyeballs being pushed back into your skull and kind of the way it picks up. It's that moment when it's just delivering everything. And obviously this is the crossover, isn't it, between electric and engine?
Yeah, but you can't feel that.
No, but just...
And there's no wheel slip at all.
No.
It's just going straight off the pit and accelerating as fast as possible.
And that's where the fact that it's over 2,100 kilos is irrelevant, because it's got so much power that, like you said, the power to weight ratio is still...
There's a 1,080 Newton meters pushing the car out of the standing start. So then we are switching to to the comfort mode.
Instantly you feel more body roll, you feel a little bit softer.
Yeah, but this is also what we want to give to our customers.
Oh, for sure.
So they can feel the differences between the ride modes. So the ride modes doesn't make sense if you don't feel what they are made for. And now we switch to sport mode. You can feel that the car is getting a bit more aggressive now, to say.
Not bad.
Attention to the ABS. We're braking in the ABS.
Wow.
No locking up real.
And that was on a slight corner.
Yeah.
I can tell already this is a very fast car.
So if you like to, we just can switch to the race mode now. We are able to support you to reach the apex, right?
So at the moment in race, what does it do with the battery when you're in race? Is it
It is pushing everything out of it.
so it will run it down to...
We are regenerating deeply into the ABS.
Yeah.
So this is why the ABS braking needs to be that smooth and stable. So we are pushing the regen braking deeply into the ABS. So, and this is not what normally happens. When you're going with an electric car outside. There is a boost mode inside the car. What we want to do with the boost mode is we want to support you with managing your energies in the car.
Okay.
We can switch in the right satellite on my steering wheel. There's the boost mode now.
Yeah.
Hope you can see that.
Yeah.
It is now lighting up yellow because it's deactivated. So it's not activated, then it's yellow. Within that part you have the full power of the car laid over your acceleration pedal, right?
So you only get full power if you're in boost mode?
No, and it's exactly the other way around now.
Okay.
As soon as you activate the boost mode, the button gets blue and you see the boost mode is activated into your instrument cluster.
Okay.
So what we are doing now is we are giving you as much energy as necessary to drive fast lap times, but also manage your energy as good as possible. So we are regenerating in every situation as much as possible. That's point one. But also we are going to give you the full energy as long as needed by pushing the car out of a corner.
Okay.
I can show you that. So we're going in the left turn, getting the car to the apex, pushing it out, so slowly accelerating, and then boost mode kicks in.
Okay. So it knows when you're going for 100% throttle, and then
I just have to activate it by kicking the kick down button. So
Okay.
by pushing the kick down button. As soon and as long as I push the kick down button, we are boosting the car with a full 150 kilowatts electric power. As long as I'm not on the boost mode, we are just supporting with, I think it's about 50 kW.
Okay, so if you want to do the fastest launch, the fastest race start.
So this is just the 50 kW. And now boost mode.
Yeah. Feel that extra kick coming in. Oh, nice. Because the car does like to let you slide around a little bit.
For sure, it's just what you're ordering the car is doing. So if you just steer in a bit more, you have more torque coming to the rear wheels, and then for sure it's getting more playful, right?
So what does it offer? Does it offer a drift mode?
Yes, for sure.
I like how you say for sure. Of course it does. It's an AMG.
For sure we do. So if you want to, we can have a look to the drift mode next. So get out of the boost mode, pull both pedals, pedal up, and we are in drift mode now.
Okay, drift mode active. Waiting anxiously to see what's coming.
So and the car is now getting way more playful.
Nice. It's what you need, right? You need that slightly childish fun.
Yeah,
It keeps the passion.
It is cool, yeah, and it keeps the passion for
So
sure.
in the drift mode, that's you telling the car, hey, I'm going to go sideways now.
Exactly, yeah.
And the computers are...
We have all of our wheel torque going to the rear. The active differential is a lock-in in a senseful way, so that you can feel when the car is losing the traction lateral ways, and that you have a good controllability within or over the limits right now, right? Yeah, and that is pretty much it.
So boost mode, drift mode, it's the fun of having all of this level of configurability and all these different settings. Obviously it takes a bit of learning, but it makes it more than just a car, because you've got the fun of being able to experiment with all of this. It's an impressive piece of kit, this.
Yeah, it's an impressive piece of technology, you have to say. Yeah. Maybe just as a short impression, we have this sound button in the electric mode.
So that noise is when you've manually turned on the electric sound. So you can turn that on and off.
Yeah,
easily.
you can turn that on and off. Yeah, default mode is off, because we want to give the option to be as silent as possible. But it's up to you if you want to switch it on and you like some noises in the car in the electric mode, because they are developed by us, and they are quite cool, right?
It's funny, isn't it, creating these different kinds of sounds.
Yeah. So it's a complete new world now. You have to develop characters of a car.
There we go. There we go. New C63. We're back here then. Of course, I've been lucky to drive this area a number of times with a CLK DTM, with the EQXX, also with one of my cars, in fact, has been here around Immendingen, amongst other areas. But going around in this has actually been quite fascinating. And I do want to say that you are aware it's a heavy car. It's 2,111 kilos by the time you've factored in, obviously, the combustion engine side of things, everything else, and then the electric motor and the battery pack. Now, like many modern cars, certainly from the passenger seat, it does a fantastic job of hiding a lot of that. It hides a lot of the extra weight. Obviously, we're hundreds of kilos up versus previous generations, and in particular with this, as Rene said, the power to weight is probably the biggest thing. Giving it 680 horsepower, giving it over 1,000 Newton meters of torque means that despite the extra weight of the car, you obviously can still accelerate blisteringly quick. It still gets a move on, absolutely flies and accelerates away, officially 3.4 seconds to 100 kilometers an hour. It's probably faster than that, because the way, especially when demonstrating the race start, it just instantly hooks up. There's no waiting for traction. Similarly, I would say in some ways to what you experience in the A45S and the CLA 45S, in that it's just foot on both pedals, lift off the brake, boom, off you go, accelerating away, flying away. And we know from seeing the full car that it's a cool looking thing. This wider track at the front, 76 millimeters, this extended, more aggressive front nose, that typical AMG grille with the vertical bars as well, and everything about the visual side of things that you would expect from the C63 S, or in this case from the C63 S e-Performance, just notching it up a degree or two, dialing this into being the latest generation. And there have been some incredible cars in this car's history, in this line's history, and obviously this now really incorporates that technological generation, but doing it in a way that is very AMG and about performance. Obviously, as a petrol head, the lack of the V8 soundtrack is a thing. The V8s do live on in the bigger brother models, but this is the way things kind of have to go, and from a performance standpoint, it's pretty impressive. This would obviously leave the previous model standing still in comparison, and that's been a big part of, I suppose, what it's about. So to have come down and been able to hop on board today with Rene to experience this car and to understand a little bit more about it is super, super, super cool. Really, really special. And to be honest, I'm looking forward in a couple of months' time to being able to swap seats, to get into the driver's seat, and to be able to share with you a lot more about the experience, about the feel, about this car, and what the full story of it is. There we go then. We've seen and experienced a bit of the C63 S e-Performance. So thank you very much for joining me. Thank you to AMG for the opportunity. Thank you to Rene as well for joining me on camera today to explain the different modes, to show us and demonstrate how all of this works. But that's it from here in Immendingen. Thank you very much to you guys for your support. Thank you for watching. It is really appreciated, and I'll see you again very soon. Cheers.